Good morning. It's Monday, November 18th. And I'll apologize right up front for this rant that I am about to do, but it's necessary. Somebody has to talk about the attack on our standards of government that are being taken by the Trump administration, or mainly 100% by the president-elect himself. This country will be torn apart if Trump is allowed to get away with what he's attempting to do. He has asked that his picks for various important jobs in this country just be appointed by him without congressional oversight, without the Senate voting on those people. Now, if that is not a step toward maximum dictatorship, I don't know what is. We in this nation have set up a series of rules over 200 years ago that allow the three main segments of government to work together and oversee one another. So the idea that we would let a dictator-minded person who has won the election proceed to appoint people without oversight, appointing a group of his lackeys to positions that affect 300 million people? Are we crazy? Is he crazy? He's crazy enough to ask for that. And those who voted for him should be shocked at his defiance against the platforms of our great government, or once great government. So if Republicans bow to his demand to recess the Senate so that he can install appointees without confirmation, that would destroy the balance of power established by the founders, as I said, 200 years ago. And if he gets his way on selections for some of the most important parts of the government, his loyalists, the people that he put in place, would blow up all the departments that they would lead. There would be turmoil. I'm throwing bench-back congressmen who have spent his career attacking his fellow Republicans and fending off sex and drug allegations to run the same Justice Department that investigated him. And for some reason it did not charge him on suspicion of trafficking an underage girl. And he has chosen a conspiracy theorist with no medical training who disparages the foundations of conventional health care to run the Department of Health and Human Services. Is he putting these people together to prove to our nation that he is capable of doing things differently, when in fact what he really is capable is of the destruction of our democracy? That is what Donald Trump is leading to. He's chosen a morning television host with a history of defending convicted war criminals while sporting a Christian Crusader tattoo that has been adopted as a symbol of the far right to run the most powerful armed forces in the history of the world. And he's chosen a former congresswoman who has defended Middle East dictators and echoed positions favored by Russia to oversee our nation's intelligence agency. So think back. It's 9 years later, and Mr. Trump is still upsetting political norm. And it may be easy to underestimate how out of touch all of this is. In the past, none of these elections would have passed in the Congress or the Senate. There was a time when failure to pay employment taxes for somebody who worked for you was enough to get a guy disqualified as a cabinet nominee. But Trump has abandoned and smashed all of those ongoing rules. I will call them rules. And he has bullied us past the red lines. And he's picking these nominees who are so out of touch, so provocative, that even his fellow Republicans are wondering which way this government is going to end up. And it's up to them to step forward and put a halt to this madness and ignore his requests for the lack of their voting on these candidates that he has put forth. And the message is very simple to Washington. Trump believes in his own reputation as a political dirty trickster, and he thinks that he is going to be different. But what's going to be different is going to be very much the same as it was under his first 4 years. And Trump has made no attempt to hide his desire to smash the status quo of Washington. And he has said so many times during his campaign. And that was his appeal to a major portion of this society. And that should tell us all something about the shape of this country. When we recognize a dictator-type person and actually vote him into office. So in Donald Trump's mind, what he is doing is business as usual. And you will see how this benefits the privileged class at the expense of the broader American public. Think back to what happened when he made those changes in the first couple of months of his last administration. How the taxes for the middle class went up, and those who had lots of money benefited from his quick action. Are we going to stand for that again this time around? I hope not, but we'll see whether or not the rest of the Republican Party is chicken shit, or whether they'll stand up for the American people. So I leave you with this mess this morning. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.